Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to Craft Eccentricity. And today I'm up with a design team haul and one project from Panalisa. So I'm just going to go straight in because it's rather a large amount. So first up, I'm going to do the papers. So I was sent these gorgeous vintage papers. So if vintage is your thing, then you are going to love stuff like that. You can see the full description up there on the website. Now, these I'm going to have to open because they're textured. And if you're someone who loves to junk journal, then you're going to be in love with these. Now, I want to try and get as close as I can. Look at that. Could you imagine little envelopes and stuff? Cutting that, you've got that beautiful waffle, really delicate and pretty, and thumbing over them, I think you're getting 3 of each design, and then you've got that gorgeous stripe emboss. There's 3 of those, and then if I pop those down carefully there, you could, oh, I want you to be able to see that. Got a lot of light in my camera. I can see it. It's almost like a deeply embossed lace. It's just really pretty. There you go. Isn't it gorgeous? Now this is very much like rice paper. That's the way that I'm going to describe this. So just very delicate and lovely. So that is that pack of papers. I'll put everything back afterwards. Now this pack is, I would say, like rice paper again. I'm going to try and get as close as I can. My camera's been really playing up again. No, I think I'm going to have to get it out of the packet for this one. It's got slight perforations in it, which, if you pick it up, handmade papers, just, oh, look at that. It is just absolutely gorgeous. Now I've got a square of craft card here, so if I stick that under the design, you can see it. Just really beautiful. And I think this one is a slightly different design. Yeah, I can see circles going on there. But isn't that wonderful? Just absolutely gorgeous. And they're all different as you go through them. Like this one's got a square, say, checker pattern. Just super pretty. And then you've got diamonds and flowers. So that is a mixed, and I'm going to call it rice paper. If anybody else has this and they think it feels like anything else, then, you know, let me know. But it's delicate and it's just really lovely. Right, the next pack is, I think, similar to this one, but this one comes in colours. Handmade papers again. You've got that lovely charcoal grey with fibres, and if I flip that over, you can also see that there is purple and blue in there. It's quite nice to see those 2 layered up because they would look really lovely both together or used for die cutting, a hydrangea die, you know, if you're dotting all the separate petals back onto the die. So that's really lovely. And then we have another vintage one, which is all botany and wildflowers. So let's have a look what's inside here as I go racing through. Put that on there. So we've got beautiful wildflowers on vintage colour papers, and they're all different. Aren't they gorgeous? So as I was saying, you know, if you love to junk journal, isn't that nice, willow? Then this is one for you. Just so pretty. There's one with a moth on it. Then we get into winter. We've got catkins. I haven't got a clue what that is. Linearia vulgaris. Linearia. Does that mean it's like one of the cotton family or flax or something? Ooh, got that one upside down. Lovely field poppy. Just gorgeous. And then flip that one over, make everybody dizzy. And we've got a couple of little honeybees there. And what is that? Oh, primula. So that's a primrose. And then that one is an orchid. Yeah, I don't know which orchid, but that is definitely an orchid. And you've got bees on there again. So if you're somebody who loves junk journaling, what a gorgeous pack. Right, next up is more of that kind of rice paperish effect. And this is in the beige tones. So as I said, if you want to see these packs opens, they are, you know, sort of like displayed in full on Panalisa's website. And then we've got invoices and receipts and tickets and stuff in here. Just really lovely. It's got all that vintage staining. Now, I'm going to open this because I need to have a look. I've just quite literally, you know, 20 minutes ago, opened the envelope. And I don't want to get stuff all mixed up. So that goes with that. So here's what we were looking at. I'll get it the right way around. Yeah, so it's like ledgers. Ooh, pain-killing magic oil. That could look quite nice on a Halloween card. Look at that. Now, I could see me putting that on a page in my garden journal. That is just really lovely. Don't you just wish things were that, you know, that price that they were all the way back then? And you've actually got the fold, and it looks real, but it's just printed, that shadow effect. There's one there with a stamp on it. Perfect for Valentine's Day. So you've got the chocolate. I'm hoping that anybody that speaks French can confirm that that is chocolate that I'm talking about, because that could be quite embarrassing. And then that looks like it might be gardening, I think, a garden receipt that's in French, but just absolutely beautiful. Really, really lovely. I know there's lots of you out there who just love to hoard ephemera, especially the vintage stuff. Right, we're getting back to those handmade papers again, and that has got a lovely checker grain on it. And then if I flip it over, you can see you've got the handmade fibres in that one. And that colour pack is all different colours again. But once again, Panalisa has them all laid out on her site. And that's the same pack again, but this time it's all in pinks. Really lovely. And I'm going to slowly hover these under the camera so that you can see the sheets that are in here. And you get 12 designs of 2 sheets, so 24. So this one is called Plant Collections. So you can see you've got your berries and your music sheets. You've got your receipts. You can actually colour these in if you want to. And then you've got that lovely dark charcoal and black sheet. These would look really sweet. You could individually cut those out and use them like little stamps on seed pockets or envelopes. So that one is Plant Collections. This one is called Something But Ordinary. And as you can see there, lovely burst of colour and very Moroccan. So that is very summer. You know, you can almost see those Moroccan tiles going on. Which, if you're somebody who's into miniatures, you know, and you like to have backings that might look realistic, then something like that, you know, is going to absolutely look like a tile on the background. Because put my finger there, you can see how big that is. Really pretty. And then the next paper pad is one called Summer Whisper. Very shabby chic. Lovely dark colours and a lovely red rose there. Just really pretty. I don't know how many times I've said really pretty, but it is really pretty. And then you've got paler shades, very shabby again. And then we have this one, which is very watercolour. So you've got your roses and your sweet peas, and everything looks very watercoloured. And if I flip that over, you can see that there is a watercolour sheet in lilac there, which is great for Easter. And then we have this one, which is called Beautiful. And I am going to open this one because I can only see a front and a back, and I don't really know what is going on inside this pack or even what it's called. So let's have a look, because the front cover seems to be missing. Right, so we've got tickets. This is very vintage once again. Now I'm going to flick this so you can hear. Very good quality cardstock. Look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? Like vintage wallpaper, double-sided. So you've got that pale dot on that side. Really lovely. I want you to see that side as well because I didn't show you. So you've got the print. That's almost like a floral dog tooth, if there is such a thing. And then you've got a lovely paisley. Trying to separate this. And a sort of like banana vanilla stripe. And then you've got this one, gorgeous colour, very retro. That's almost like soda fountain ice cream shop of the 1920s, 30s, isn't it? That's really lovely. And then we've got a lovely pink stripe. And you've got that on the back. A pink dot. And pink music. And then you've got a little area there that you could stamp if you wanted to. So you've got the little birdies there on script. Flip that over. Little pink doily pattern. And then you've got that lovely blue rose. Sort of very aqua. That's right, I'm feeling for another one. And then you've got a ticket adore back. And then we've got the crowns and princess down there. That's a kind of raspberry red. And then look at that. That is gorgeous. I mean, that just screams vintage kitchen at me. You know, flower sack tea towels and things. Beautiful tiny little dot doily there in pale blue. And then on the front cover, we've got Spread Your Wings and Fly. And then on the reverse, you've got that lovely, almost vintage yellowy mustardy colour. But I do not know what the name of that pack is called, so I'm going to have to go searching for it. But it is heavyweight cardstock. And then last but not least, I got this pack, which is like tea stained, tea dye, or coffee stained. And if I open this up, there are other bits that come in this package. So if I collect those up, whoops, I'll just put those down for a second, because these are pretty much sort of tea stained invoices and sheets. Let's have a look at that one. Yeah, you've got lovely big coffee splashes. Very vintage, very lovely. You've got a lovely, almost fabric Hessian texture there. You've got beautiful handmade paper. I think there's two of those. And then we go back to this one, which is coffee stained. And then you've got that paler coffee stain. Coffee or tea, whichever you prefer. And then with it come little apothecary labels with numbers. So we've got them in the black, and you've got them in that sort of like vintage photo shade. And then you've got other bits that you can stick down. Little paper pieces. And then we've also got little tags which have got the hole perforated. So you can just, I've just popped that one out there. And then you've got a little bit of tea staining on that tag. And then you've got that one, which looks really dimensional. Really lovely. Right, so that is the papers. And I'm going to scoot those over there and pop that back on top. And now we're going to get into the stamps and the dies. And I'm just going to bend down because I just dropped some on the floor. Alright, so just picking myself back up. First up is a candy cane sweetie, which of course doesn't just have to be for Christmas because you can do it in lovely pastel shades. And then I received 2 sets of stamps. These are tiny little sentiment stamps, but the die actually fits so that you can stamp and cut them all out at the same time. The sentiments on these are, let's have a look, because they're lovely and tiny. See how close we can get up there. I'm so happy that you're my person. Wishing you blue skies and sunshine. Happy thoughts, you're the best. There is no one else who makes me this happy. Happy me, happy you, happy us, which I think, that's awesome. I think that's an awesome little saying. And then the other stamp set, I hope I haven't got it upside down. That could be what's confusing me. Yeah, I think I probably did, didn't I? Ah, there we go. I'm looking at Panalisa's name. You're flipping amazeballs. Friends don't let you do stupid things alone. Your face makes me smile. You're seriously way too cool. Hey, good looking, what you got cooking? You're my sidekick for life. We are not normal, and I love it. And I love you even when you're hungry. And then there's like friends ones going on under there. So I'm going to have to find the opening. Now, one of the things that I did get from Panalisa, which is a first for me, is her some of her oxide inks, and I use them in my projects. And I have to tell you, I was quite surprised. I was really quite surprised, and you have to hang around to see why. I love you even when you're hungry. Crafty friends are the best friends. Hang in there, friend. All we've shared has meant so much to me. So just really cute little things, because if I put my hand under there, you can see just how lovely and tiny those sentiments are. So they can be just, you know, slipped in anywhere. Right, now we get into dies, and we have a fairy door, which I'm looking forward to using. Things like this are great all year round. I mean, even in fall, you can have all your pumpkins lined up outside your fairy door. You can have a little gnome peeking through, or whatever you want to. So that's the little fairy door. I've got a Happy New Year, and I do wish you a Happy New Year. Maybe a bit too late to use that now, but I can certainly use it next year. And then we have a lovely set of tags, 2 little tags, and you've got the reinforcers. And then I have a set of birds that have got these beautiful embossed wings. You've got all the extra little bits, and you've got the beak. So this is something I'm going to make so that you can see it. And then I've got one that looks like a Christmas dessert, and it's not Christmas now, so I'm wondering if I can, you know, make it into a birthday cake or something. So I'm going to have a good look at that one. And then I've got this gorgeous little stitched bow. These are like gingerbread pieces, but you don't have to use those, so that, you know, you can leave those out, and then all year round just use it as a plain bow. And then I've got this really pretty card plate. Gonna have to use that one, which will cut it out. You can pop all different colours back into there if you wanted to, or just leave it plain. And I'm just reaching for my ruler, because of course I can measure stuff like this, and that is 5.5 by 4.25. And then I've got a lovely Valentine one, which is a bunch of envelopes. Now, you could do as is or even as a shaker if you wanted to with this one. And the size of this is 4¼ by 5½. And then I've got a lovely little vintage style, stove. And I think that's like the tiles that go behind the stove. You've got a little frying pan. Flip that over. You've got a little food mixer. So I'm going to have to do that one. Look at the little oven mitt, and you've got the little pot that will sit on top. So that's really cute. And then I have an Easter stamp, and I also got the die with it. So we've got that lovely bunny and all of the flowers. I'm going to flip it over. Shake your bunny tail, it says, and bunny kisses 25 cents. Hoppy spring, hippity hoppity, live your life in full bloom. What does that say? Easter's on its way, your time to bloom, ears to you. That's quite good. And you're irresistible. So that's really, really sweet. And the die that fits it. So it does come with a die. Right, next up, and that is a set of cups. And it's got Christmas elements with this set of cups. Like you've got a gingerbread man, you've got snowflakes, snowflakey borders, but you also get a dot. Now that can be used all year round. If you've got any cute mice, you could cut that in yellow, and that could be the cheese, you know, Swiss cheese with a little mouse popping out of your cup. You've got a candle with it, or a candy cane, so you can turn that into a candle. And then you've got whipped cream, so you can have all kinds of characters popping out. And you've got your mellows, and you've got your oh, what are they called, graham crackers. So you've got your s'mores things that you can use. Really lovely. And you've got a candy cane down here. And next up we have flowers. Yes, we've got stems. We've got a frame with it, which is rather like a very large postage stamp. And then you've got all the flowers, the layering up pieces, and then you've got hello in script, and then you've got friend in bold there. So that's one that I need to make. And then I've got another set of frames, which have got alternate kind of crisscross engraving on, which is really nice. Great one for Easter because it kind of makes you think of Easter baskets. That's 5½ by 4¼ and then we have an extremely large, and it does not fit in, but this makes a book and pages and pockets. So you've got all of those little elements, frames, borders. I mean, me moving it around doesn't do it justice. So if this is the kind of thing you like, you'll have to hop on to Panalisa's site to have a look. And then you've got the tie, because it's kind of policy document, I guess. Right, now then, the length of this die, and I'm doing cut line to cut line, is going to give you 11 3/8 of an inch. So you're going to have to use your extended plates to cut this. And then cut line to cut line on this one is 5 7/8. So it is an absolutely gorgeous size, really comprehensive. So gonna have to make that one. We'll do this one as a let's do this so that we can see how it's done. Right, last but not least, I was sent 6 oxide inks, and I've got bundled sage, broken china, I've got spiced marmalade, I've got abandoned coral, I'm just popping them down here, I've got squeezed lemonade, and I've also got weathered wood. Now these are full-size pads. I'm not going to compare them to a branded because these are, I think, slightly larger. And I will give you the measurement of a pad. Let's get my ruler the right way around. Right, we've got 3 inches by 3 inches. So they're 3 inches square. And I'm sure for those of you who enjoy storing colours like I do, that you want to know the height of that. So that it's 1 3/4 inches high on the pad. Right, now I store my blending tools like this in tubes so that you can basically see just how lovely and vivid the colours are. That is your squeezed lemonade. That one is your spice marmalade. So you can see between these and the branded there are shade differences, which is a nice thing actually. That's the abandoned coral, and this is very squeaky. And then we've got the broken china. I hope that's not going all blurred, which is slightly deeper than the branded one. Let's get that on there. And then we've got the bundled sage, which is kind of more of a grey green. And then we've got the weathered wood, which it's kind of weird, this one, because even the branded variety of oxide inks, their weathered wood goes grey brown, and this one was no different, and I'm going to show you. And what stunned me is how beautifully this watercolors in comparison to the branded, this was better for watercoloring, and it's also very good for blending. And as I said, I'm going to be up next week to do all kinds of stuff from all of the hauls that I'm sharing with you. So this is what I made using the oxide inks. So this are the other dies that I have received, and it is a little stamp and a die set that is also from Panalisa, and I'm going to measure that. I've got a vegetable set, which is brilliant for me because it's got like onions and broccoli and all sorts, and I can stick them in my garden planner as little place markers and stuff. So really enjoyed getting that one. And then my next one is a set of bows. So there are little rosettes you can see there, and the tail for the rosettes, and just lots of really useful little bows. So that's what else I got, and that's what I used in my project. So there is the rosette coloured in squeezed lemonade. You've got the carrot there. That's coloured with bundled sage and squeezed lemonade. I just blended the two together. The carrot is in the marigold, and I backed it with craft cardstock because it cuts these little bits out here. And then my little rabbit is done in the abandoned coral and weathered wood. So you can see, if I get real close there, all those different shades that start to come out on that. Isn't that fabulous? It's almost like, what's that stuff, those powdered granules that you sprinkle down? I can never remember the names. I've got a whole box of them, but I can't think of them. You just brush your water down and then you sprinkle the granules. But if you look at that, you start to see, whoop, when you get it wet, all those different colours that start to come out. And there at the bottom here, this is bundle sage, watercoloured. So you've got the pure colour of it, and then adding more water washes it out. And then I put, I think, a tiny little bit of lemonade just up in that corner to say that, you know, that's kind of like where the light was coming from. But isn't that great? I just want you to see how nicely it just went down onto watercolour cardstock. And you could just lift the colour, push the colour, so it created all those clouds. So I'm really pleased with these. And Panalisa said she's sending me the other 6 colours. So I'm really grateful for that, because you know me, I'm an absolute monster when it comes to hoarding colour. But that is what I've got for you today, and an extremely long video it has been. It's been 30 minutes, so if you stuck with me, I thank you so much. Right, it's Friday, so have an absolutely awesome weekend. Up on Monday with DIY Art Bin, and as usual, all links below. Bye.